Hello, beautiful soul. My name is Mara, and I welcome you to this Pick a Pile reading. This is going to be focused on what your spirit guides want you to know about the path ahead. So, if you're leaning in a new direction, you're starting new projects, working on something new, or you just simply want to know what's next, then you are in the right spot. Your intuition led you here for a reason. So we're going to go over the crystals for each pile, and if you'd like to choose clairaudiently, there will be a sound selection afterwards. So let's start with pile number 1. Pile number 2. And pile number 3. And now we'll get into the sound selection. All right, if you need more time, go ahead and pause the video, or you can go back through the crystal or sound selection. We're going to get started with pile number 1, but all 3 readings are time-stamped in the description, so you can find yours there, and I will see you at your reading. Hello, group number 1. Welcome to your reading. Again, this is what your spirit guides want you to know about the path ahead. I have pulled some oracle cards, so we're going to get into your fairy oracle first. Okay, so starting off, we have friendship. Fairies and humans alike need friends. Now is the time to seek out those who will support and encourage you on your journey to fulfill your dreams. Okay, so it's feeling very much like you are heading in the direction of some desires, some big things that really mean a lot to you, and it's important that you have the right circle around you at this time while you really stay vulnerable, because it takes a lot of courage to go after what you want. Maybe it doesn't always look possible, and you really need a team of people that are willing to uplift you. Even if it's just one person, it's really important that you have support in your life. Then we have stargazing. When you gaze at the stars, you give yourself fairy focus. Your intuition will flow more freely and reveal what you need to know about your situation. So, this is very much speaking of allowing your intuition to guide you and getting into a space where you can receive intuitive messages. Because if you're focused a little bit more on, say, your material world, it does kind of cut you off from your spirituality. Now, I'm not saying that focusing on your material world is bad and that you shouldn't, and it's the two aren't linked, but there is this certain level of flow that you can find when when you rely on more energetic things, when you rely on the feeling of things. And if you are only focused on what your circumstances are telling you or what your physical world is supplying you with, then it's really difficult to navigate your intuitive world. And I feel like with the friendship card as well, that you are going to be around people that want you to follow your intuition. They see that your vision is important, and they don't want you moving in any other direction because it's just not your direction. And so they will be there to really say, "Hey, yeah, I think you should trust your gut on this one. You are right about this." And they're going to help you kind of guide your way through all of this. And also, at the end of the reading, I want to pull some charms for you just to get an extra little message from your spirit guides. Okay, so moving into your medicine cards, first we have spring. See your seeds grow. So yeah, this is something, these dreams that you have that you're heading towards, it feels like you have these things that it's something that you have wanted for a long time, and you've planted these seeds a while ago, and so they're finally in that stage where it's ready to bloom, and that can be a little bit scary. It's like, what, I don't know what to expect from this plant. How did the seed do? How did it do? How did it grow? Did I nurture it right? Am I in the right receiving mode? Am I following my intuition? And there's a lot of questions that come up during this time. And your guides want you to relax and just know that they will grow. What you are planting or what you have planted is fruitful. There is abundance that will be followed from this. And this is looking like a lavender sprig to me. And so it tells me that this is something you can relax about. It's very calm, and it's in harmony with your life. This is in harmony with your destiny, if you will, if you're with your fate. It feels very much like divine timing and you are in alignment with each other. And with the little jackrabbit here, it feels like you're supposed to spring into actions, like let yourself go forward. He doesn't hesitate, and he moves forward with confidence and goes after what he wants. And we have a sage, be devoted and committed. Wow. Yeah. So I feel like you're writing down your goals, you're getting clear about some things, you're really devoting your time and your energy to these things that you want to accomplish. And you're creating the space for yourself to focus on these things, because maybe you do need to, you know, I wanna say, and only do this if it resonates, but, cut back hours at your 9 to 5 job so you can focus on your dreams of, doing something else. That's just one example that I'm feeling, but it's like you want to create the physical space for you to center yourself and center your mind around these dreams that you want to see come true. And stay committed to the path. I feel like there's also this feeling of like, yes, fears exist. It's natural to be a little bit afraid of, like what I was saying, of what's to grow, but you're sitting with your back against this tree. It feels very much like you're supported, and it's okay, but you have to stay committed. You have to keep nurturing and loving the seed that you planted, that was once a seed but is now a fully grown and developed idea. So then we have hunter. Track down your fears and desires. Yeah, it's time to get clear about what is holding you back, what is and what has been limiting you in your desire to really go after what you want. What is making it feel impossible or feel kind of stuck in your life that you can't go after it. And also in the process of recognizing what you're afraid of, you're also honoring what your desires are. So that's a really beautiful and powerful place to be in your life. And with him holding this arrow and being the hunter, it's like you're going after what you want. You're going after it, and whether it's a desire that you can bring home and accept and nourish, or if it's a fear that you want to shoot down and really work through. Like, I'm seeing you being the hunter, and it symbolically, if your fear were an animal, that you kill it, but you don't want to um just kill it, because you want to bring it back to camp and deconstruct it and use every part of it that you can, so that nothing goes to waste. So really leaning into and dissecting your fears, like, where did they come from? What is the root of it? And how can you change that for yourself? How can you lean into something a little bit better feeling? And then lastly, we have Medicine Mother. Honor your inner knowing. Again, with that intuitive energy, it's like you know what's right for you. And maybe if you don't know it in the forefront of your mind, this is about getting it to the front, getting it from your subconscious to your your conscious. It feels very much like you're allowing some truths to be known in your body and in your mind, and that is a process. That is a deep process at that. It takes some courage, it takes vulnerability, it takes strength, and a willingness to do the work. So it definitely feels like you are on the right path, and your guides are saying you need to honor and trust your inner knowing. There are a lot of answers available to you if you just open your mind and open your heart to the idea that you do have the answer. You do have the knowledge. She feels very strong and precise too. All of these feel very like you know what you want, and you shouldn't hesitate if you have been in going after what you want, because it is going to lead you to not only getting your desires and fulfilling a dream that you may have, but also really feeling good about yourself, about what you can accomplish. And the fact, it's such a great feeling when you see something you want, you're not sure if you have the ability or capability to do it, and then you do it anyways, and you realize that, oh yeah, I am that person. I'm a badass. I can do this. And to feel that trust within yourself that I have my back, and I don't have to worry about what's going on outside of me, because internally I am strong. I've done the inner work to really get to this place where I feel confident about the decisions I make and following my path. So let's take a look at your charm. Let's see what comes out for you. Live in the moment. If my camera will focus. Okay, well, I guess it doesn't want to. This says live in the moment. So very much like it feels like you shouldn't be getting caught up on the next step. You just like write down your goals and accomplish them one at a time. You don't need to focus on where you want this project to be in 10 years or 5 years or even a year from now. You don't want it to be rushed. You want to take your time, follow your time and your own cycle, because everybody is on their own path, they have their own process, and it's important that you follow yours. Enjoy the journey. Yeah. Your guides are really leaning into that narrative of just trusting your own path, trusting your journey. It's going to make sense to you as you make it make sense, you know? You really need to lean into the things that feel good and right for you. And sometimes the journey is a little up and down. Sometimes it's a little squiggly. Sometimes it's, it's like the unilome. It's starts here and then you go up and you wrap around all the way down and then you go, there's twists and turns to life's journey. And that is it's life in itself is filled with a lot of little different journeys. So this is just one to be respected and loved. Let's grab one more charm. Oops. Encourage your hopes, not your fears. Yeah, wow. Your synchronicities are popping off right now. It feels like your guides just really want you to know that they see you. They see the work that you're doing and they want you to follow your path. They want you to, recognize your fear and don't limit yourself in processing it. Don't limit yourself in learning about it, but don't encourage it to be more than what it is. Don't let it consume you. And of course, you're human, so things aren't always going to feel like possible and fears are a beautiful and natural part of life, though they don't always feel that way. But it's important that you recognize their place in your life so you can really navigate with them. You can befriend your fears and befriend the things that really scare you so that they don't anymore, so that they become a part of you and you become stronger and more self-aware because of it. So wow, pile number 1, you have a beautiful path ahead and your guides want you to know that you're on the right track. Keep following your intuition. Keep leaning into those friendships and those connections that really lift you up and speak highly of you and your energy and that make you feel like you things are possible, that help you, bring back that animal and break it down into a meaningful thing. So stay devoted and committed. Honor yourself, honor your process, respect your own personal cycle in all of this, and honor your journey, and you will do just fine. Hello, group number 2. Welcome to your reading. Again, this is all about what your spirit guides want you to know about the path ahead. And at the end, we're going to pull some charms with little sayings on them. So let's get started with your fairy oracle first. We have solitude. Think of being alone as meaning you are all one and in total harmony with everything. The greatest treasures are those that wait silently during your quiet times. Okay, so it feels like something's brewing. Something is gaining momentum. I feel like you have aligned with something. And so now you're just waiting for your vibrational reality to kind of catch up with your physical reality or the other way around. It feels like this is a moment to kind of be still, to listen, receive messages, and really allow what needs to be what needs to come up and out to do that. And then we have tree wisdom. This tree dryad will help you navigate through your current situation. Her flute can reveal insights and answers through the sounds it makes. So this feels you probably chose your pile clairaudiently. I feel like if you aren't aware, then you do have the gift of clairaudience. I feel like your guides are kind of pushing at that. But it does feel like I'm getting this really clear image of you maybe driving in the car or somehow you're by yourself and you're listening to music. I'm seeing it in a car, but it feels like you have this moment of clarity where you really know what direction you want to head in when it comes to whatever is gaining momentum right now. It feels like you are receiving ideas, you're receiving intuitive downloads or some kind of expansion when it comes to the things that you're wanting to manifest. And I feel like it may not have anything to do with the lyrics of the song, but it just feels like that's the moment where you really are just flowing in your energy. You're allowing yourself to connect in a way that you don't normally, or that is the way that you really find your meditation space. That feeling of connectedness is through music. And so you can expect to receive some big ideas and impulses, intuitive impulses, to move forward in something through a time where you are really aligning with the vibration of sound, with the messages that you receive through music. So let's move into your medicine cards. First, we have Shaman, trust in higher forces. Wow. This is immediately looking like a drum to me. It feels, I mean, it also looks like a wheel of seasons or messages of guidance. It's some kind of dial. But it feels like, and especially with the bells, it's like your guides want you to listen and follow the own beat of your drum, and to trust the pull that you're feeling, the sounds that you're hearing. I'm seeing like this spirit walking ahead of you, and you're kind of, oh, you're going this way, I can't see you but I can hear you, like that sounded scary, but but like it feels very much like you are in tune with your guides, and you're probably not surprised by that. You probably already know that deep in your soul, if not very loudly in your mind, but it feels like you are following that path, and you should trust the divine timing of things, because I think that right now, while you are letting things kind of build and you're not in the doing stage, it can be a little unnerving to just be in the waiting and wondering stage. So trust that things are unfolding as they should. Trust that your guides are doing vibrational work on your behalf, and you need to just follow the next cue, follow the next thing that you hear, the next thing that feels right in your body. So then we have animal guardian. Trust your instincts. Yeah. This is a time for you to really rely on, and here we have this white owl, and he's peering over you, and here it's like your instincts are a reflection of your guides leading you places, of that really powerful um inner guidance system. It's a reflection of the universe. And so when you open yourself up to receiving signs, and actually my left ear is ringing right now, and I don't typically get clairaudient messages, but it feels extremely powerful right now in a confirmation for you. It's like you need to lean into your instincts, because your intuition is spot on about things. And if you stop over intellectualizing it and you just let it exist, and maybe that's a part of being alone, not having a lot of outside influences when it comes to the things that you're wanting, then you give yourself the space to really develop that keen sense of awareness, that ability to follow your intuition. But your instincts are spot on. You are moving in the right direction. And I also just noticed that these antlers here are in spirit form behind her with the owl. So it's just even more confirmation that your guide is leading you, and or guides, and they want you to listen with an open heart, open ears, and an open mind. Spirit Fox, trust your talents in changing times. Wow. I feel like you must be a very spiritual person, because it feels very much like um your messages are very in tune with that realm, very in tune with what a spiritual person would be receiving. So it feels like your heart knows best, and you are so wildly talented. I feel like you're a creative soul. Everything you touch is like magic, and you feel like this really beautiful breath of fresh air. Your creativity is serving you wildly in your personal life and in your vibrational life. It's really aiding you in your ability to create what you want by being such a creative and imaginative being. The only thing is that while you're in this space of in between, while you're in this downtime, the relaxing and lonesome time, it can be a little bit difficult because it's like, well, I want to create. I feel that pull, but I'm not ready. I don't feel like I have something to create. If I do create, it's just going to be like last time, or it's going to, I'm just repeating myself. And the universe is saying, trust yourself, trust, um, that as you create and follow your talents, that you are leaning into the new, that the change is happening and it's taking place and it's unfolding as it needs to. And you don't always have to be so creative. You don't always have to be doing. Sometimes being creative and being talented is about taking a step back and observing and letting yourself get inspired and letting your talent develop. You may be in a research stage as well. So, yeah, it's this is a time, I mean, trust. It's like you really need to trust the universe and yourself right now because you are on the right path. You just aren't seeing the physicalness. And I think that that's why your reading started out with it being like your vibrational and physical realities are not quite aligned yet, but it's not a bad thing. It's just they need a moment to like get aligned, to get um into the right frequency. So then we have trader, exchange energy to create abundance. Wow. Okay. So first, I want to note this pillow here. It feels like a resting period, a meditation kind of thing. It's like you are exchanging this really worried energy for a more relaxed one. And when you are able to feel, cuz when I don't know if you like know a lot about body language, but when people put their hands on their hearts, it's because they're speaking from their heart place. They really mean what they're saying. And it feels like when you lean into relaxation, when you lean into what you really feel and need and want, and you allow yourself to speak it, excuse me, not just to other people, but to yourself, to your guides, and you keep manifesting, keep speaking and telling the universe what you want, then it's like you you realign, you get to that place where you're exchanging um, maybe your fears that are kind of consuming at this time into a more self-assured space. So it feels like this energetic exchange is happening, and you're creating this space for something new to come in. And this may also look like letting go of some fears. You're making room, you're creating the space. Maybe you want to give this away because you want to. Maybe you are giving something to somebody, or you're creating physical space in your life. It could mean a lot of different things. Please take what resonates and leave the rest. But it feels like it's coming from your heart center, like it's something that you deeply need and you deeply care about. So let's get into your charms. I'm going to pull 3 for pile number 2. What do your guides want you to know? Okay, so 2 came out. First one is life is about creating yourself. So, wow, I feel like you're not even just in a time of creating your dreams or being a creative person, maybe crafting or something along those lines, but it's also who you are as a person. It's very close to your heart. You are moving things around and shifting and sorting through things to align with a you that feels more authentic and beautiful to you. That's that's beautiful. And then we have encourage your hopes, not your fears. So, yeah, really allow yourself to experience what is it that's holding you back from making this energetic exchange. What is it that holds you back from trusting your instincts or trusting the divine timing of all of this? It feels like you are meant to be trusting yourself and letting go of the fears that have really held you back in the past. Then we have live in the moment. I wonder, because these two charms came out for pile number one, so you may have been drawn to pile number one as well, and you can go check that out if you feel drawn to it. But this is very much speaking of, you know, you can't just be worried about what's in the future. Even though, that's a very human experience, you need to be focused on what's happening now. Even though you want to be in the creative process, in the doing phase, right now you're just not there. You're just in the in between. And that's a really important place to be. And you need to trust yourself in this moment and know that you are aligning with the right things, whether it's physically showing up or not. You're a vibrational person first, and your physical world comes second. So trust your process because it's an important one. I really love this reading for you, and I think that your guides want you to know and believe in yourself. You have 3 cards that are speaking of trusting the process. So lean into their messages, lean into your psychic gifts and this time of being alone. Maybe you do need some time to cultivate some things before moving in and really taking action. And your guides recognize that and they want you to succeed in the best way possible. So take your time, develop what you need to, and trust yourself in the process. Blessed be. Hello, group number 3. Welcome to your reading. This is all about what your spirit guides want you to know about the path ahead. So, we're going to start with some oracle cards, and then I have these little charms here that have sayings on them that will pull at the end of your reading. So, starting with your fairy oracle, first we have nature's signs. Be receptive to the subtle messages from nature as you go about your day. Nature talks to us continually. We need only open our hearts and minds. So yeah, it feels like I'm seeing you kind of go on a nature walk. Maybe you're being called to spend some more time outside. And if you live in the city, don't let the fact that you're not in pure woods hold you back from experiencing nature, because there is foliage, there is some grass around you, I'm sure, that you can go walk on. And if you're shy, if you're a little antisocial, if you don't want to be seen or perceived, I'm feeling like maybe that's the case and you just want to experience nature by yourself, then just allow yourself to try. Just allow yourself to go out and experience what you can from nature, and you may be surprised by how comforted you feel in your body and in your mind. Then we have transformation. This fairy tells you to surrender to a transformation in your life that's happening for your highest good. Embrace your transformation. The best is yet to come. Wow. This feels extremely powerful. The best is yet to come. That feels like a really good message and probably one that you've needed to hear. When I got that feeling that maybe you don't want to be perceived, it kind of feels like you've been down, maybe fallen on some hard times, and you are not really in a social space. You're not really wanting to have your energy intertwine or interact with anybody else because it's so delicate right now, because you are in such a delicate and vulnerable space. But I feel like heading forward, I mean, she feels extremely confident and self-assured, and she's loving herself. She's really respecting her body, and it feels like you are stepping into that feeling as well. You're stepping into that that realm of energy. And maybe that's something that you used to have, maybe it's something new, but it is coming back if it is something that you used to have. And I feel like in a deeper and more fulfilling way as well. So be open to what you are receiving when it comes to messages, because maybe you do need to get out of your current environment to really experience a new intuitive pull, but only you'll know. So then let's move into some medicine cards. Starting out, we have Peacekeeper. Let go of the need to be right. Wow. That's a hard one. And it can be, it's really a process and it takes practice. But it feels like when you choose to let go of that, that you are relaxing into something so much better. And it's giving you that peaceful energy. It's giving you that restorative kind of path for yourself. And it feels like you when you do that, when you choose that the path of, I don't really care if I'm right, I just want to be fulfilled, then you do head down a more fulfilling path and you feel more aligned with your life. You feel more aligned with what's right for you, because maybe you've been holding on to things for the sake of just holding on because it's familiar. Maybe you're fighting something because at one point you thought you were right, and you don't want to admit that maybe you weren't. Maybe you were wrong about something, and it's scary to say, well, if I wasn't right about this, then what else am I wrong about, you know? So then we have the High Priestess. Harness mystic power. Okay, so it feels like some really big intuitive messages are going to be coming in. And maybe you are leaning more into witchcraft, maybe you're leaning into using spiritual tools like cards. You're leaning into divination, or your guides are asking you to. It feels like you have some pretty um, intense ancestors, some really powerful spirit guides that want to aid you in this process, and really help you move through this path that you're walking into with an open heart and an open mind, and with power and confidence, because it does provide this mystic power, provides a lot of intuitive knowledge. And so it's like you're letting go of something so that you can create the space to harness what's really meant for you. And that's a really powerful experience. It's not the easiest experience, it's not the easiest process, but it's definitely a powerful one. And maybe that's what this transformation is all about for you, is letting go of what not wasn't right for you. So then we have Direction Guardian. Choose your path. This is feeling extremely like a loud call for you to wake up. And I don't mean like wake up, you're asleep, you're not noticing the things, but it feels like this aha moment is approaching, and your guides want you to be prepared to choose authentically what is right for you, what is going to make sense for you. It's okay if you have been walking down one path and you realize that it's not right. It's not aligning with you, and you need to go down a new path. You need to follow a new direction and listen to new messages from the universe. Maybe you have some people in your life that they maybe don't take spirituality seriously, but you're starting to see a bigger vibrational picture in your life that wants to unfold, and you need to let go of some people in order to really flourish in the direction that you're wanting to go. But whatever the case, the universe is saying choose your direction and be sure about it, be strong about it. And I think that allowing yourself to let go in that process and leaning into these transformations, you can trust yourself. You can trust the messages that you are receiving from your spirit guides, including this reading. So then lastly, we have seer. See beyond the current situation. Wow. So, yeah, it feels like you are definitely leaning into a more magical side of yourself, that you are starting to use spiritual tools and guidance. And remember that they are simply tools. They are not magically going to make things better or anything like that, but they are there to help and guide you. And I think that you are really getting into the energy of that. You are shaping and shifting and looking without actually having to see things. You're trusting your intuition. You're trusting the the things that are showing up in your crystal ball, whatever that may be, if it's a literal one or a metaphorical vision that you're having. It feels like your guides are saying, lean into your spiritual gifts, lean into the inner knowledge that you have so that you can align with what's meant for you. So let's get into your charms. For pile number 3, okay, we have 2 popping out. I want to pull 3. Okay, we'll take that one. So starting off, we have possibility begins with imagination. So maybe you do need to stretch beyond what you typically think about. Maybe you do need to allow this transformation to take effect from a non-limited point of view, and that can be a little bit difficult. But your guides are saying that when you open yourself up to, perceiving things in ways that you normally don't, you're creating the space for new possibilities, new opportunities, and new narratives to exist. And then we have live in the moment, and you're kidding me. Encourage your hopes, not your fears. These two have come out in every single reading. So I feel like whoever is listening to these readings, you all have a very similar type of energy. And your guides really want you to trust your process, because this transformation is important. Where you exist in time in relation to this transformation is important. And while you move forward, you don't want to just rely on fear based thinking of making a decision because you're afraid of something else happening. So it's like, I have to choose this one because who knows what's going to be on that side. You want to encourage the hope that something beautiful could take place, that you could rely on some wishes being granted, some truth to be revealed that's going to feel good and not scary or daunting. It feels like your guides are saying, stay open. This transformation is important, and you are important in it. And the things that you think and feel are important. Your direction, the path that you choose, the decisions that you make, they all lead up to a beautiful path for yourself. And that should be honored. That should be respected. So allow yourself to let go of some things at this time as you move forward. Trust that you can see without having to actually see it. It's like you want to believe before you see it and not the other way around. And trust that if you keep practicing this, that it eventually it will become second nature. Eventually you won't have to second guess yourself, or it may come less frequently, that you are able to trust the signs that nature and your spirit guides are sending to you at this time or in the future. So embrace your magic, embrace the universe's magic, and follow this transformation with an open heart. Blessed be.